We're celebrating the Summer Olympics in Athens by making some Greek recipes. It's Olympic-inspired dishes today on Let's Cook. Hi, welcome to Let's Cook, where we are making Olympic-inspired dishes today. Now, the Olympics are in Athens this summer, and because of that, these are really Greek-type recipes or Greek-inspired dishes. Let me just go over the menu. We're doing a lamb ball soup. Then we're doing chicken in a lemon egg sauce and keftedes on a skewer. Now, keftedes themselves, those are actually meatballs, but I'm going to put them on a skewer. And the egg lemon sauce that we're using is actually pronounced avgolemono. So it's just, these are great recipes. But the first thing I'm going to do is I have to start my soup. So to make the lamb ball soup, right here in this bowl here, I have a little bit of beef. And I have some lamb. Actually, this is my lamb. This is my beef, some feta cheese, and some coarsely ground breadcrumbs. To this now, I'm going to add some herbs. And then we need a little bit of egg in here as well. So let me add my 2 eggs. Usually I'll use an egg per pound of meat. So I have 2 eggs there. Actually, I'm going to add 1 more egg because I think I need a 3rd egg in here. Then a little bit of salt. You need to be careful with the salt because of the feta cheese. It's a little salty, so a little bit of salt in here. And then a little bit of pepper. Now, while I'm mixing these, I'm actually going to start to heat up my pan here and get that a little warm because we're going to actually brown these lamb balls that we're making. So we use, of course, some very good olive oil in here, just in the bottom. Now, okay, I'm going to shut the pan off because the pan got too hot. And I'll mix these. Now, normally, I was reading, there was a study done. I think it was done by the University of Guelph in Canada, in Ontario, Canada. I'm originally from Ontario. And they were talking about cooking shows. They were talking about cooking shows. And they said that when most cooking shows will make an average of, I think it was either 14 sanitary mistakes during every show, where they might do cross-contamination or they might not properly wash something, anything that has to do with sanitation. And everybody is very sanitation aware, I guess you would say. So as I'm mixing these meatballs with my hands, I want you to know that they were washed, soaked in bleach, air dried, sterilized. So they're very clean. And also, if they're ever, you might be a little concerned about that. Maybe you don't like the texture of it, but the other thing with meat is when you mix it, if your hands are very clean, that's okay. And also just the heat action. And we're going to cook these all the way through. We'll kill most bacteria that's on your hands if they've been washed properly beforehand. So now we need to make our lamb balls. So to make the lamb balls, what I like to do is I like to actually wet my hands with a little bit of water. It just makes it easier and the meat doesn't stick to them. So I'm just going to go ahead and start to make these balls and put them in the pan. And what we're going to do is we're going to brown these lamb balls. And every bowl of soup will get from 1 to 3 of these delicious meatballs. Okay, so you'll notice when I mixed the lamb with the ground beef that I did not really mix it too hard. If you mix it too hard, what ends up happening is the meatballs will come out nice and tough, and the bread that I used in there, the fresh bread, that's just going to absorb a lot of the moisture or flavors of the meat and prevent them from shrinking as much. So let me get these in the pan here. I'm going to start to brown these up. We're going to take a little break, and then when we come back, we're going to finish getting all the ingredients in our soup for our Olympic-inspired dishes today on Let's Cook. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where we are making Olympic-inspired dishes. Now, we have our lamb ball soup started here, and you can see that while we were on break, I was just browning the lamb meatballs that we made, and I'm just going to turn these over, and you're just going to brown these. And now to these now I need to add the other ingredients that go to the soup, but first I need to cut the onions. So the onions I have here, we're going to do a very simple cut on these, where we just take our knife, we slide it across the onion this way, then we'll just make about 4 cuts across the top of the onion this way, and then we'll just dice it up. So it's basically a medium dice that we're making here with the onion. See how easy that is? And I always leave the root end of the onion there so that the onion stays together when I go to cut it and it doesn't fall apart. Okay, so I have my onions ready. So now I'm going to start to put all of the ingredients that are going to go. We don't have to remove the meatballs at all, or the lamb balls. So we add our onions to this. We'll add our carrots to this, our celery to this, our rice to this. Put it all in there. Then very gently or carefully, you're just going to go and kind of pick these things up again so they kind of go to the bottom. Oh, this is so easy. Now, the only other thing we need to do is you can add two things to this. You can add water or stock to this. So I have my chicken stock right over here, and I made it very weak. So I took regular stock and added half water to it, you know, the kind you find, and we just add this to this now. Beautiful. The only other thing I need to do is I need to put a couple of bay leaves in this, cover it, and let it simmer. So I'm going to go ahead, let this come up, let it simmer with the bay leaves, and then at the end of it, I'm going to go ahead and add the tomatoes to it at the very end. We're going to take a little break, and then when we come back for our Olympic-inspired dishes, I'll be making a chicken in a lemon egg sauce, also known as avgolemono. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where we are making Olympic-inspired dishes. Now, this next dish that I'm making, basically it's chicken in a lemon egg sauce, and I'm making this with boneless chicken thighs. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to start to heat up my pan here, and while that pan gets hot, a little bit of olive oil in there. Use a good quality olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. It doesn't have to be the cold Expeller Express, but you should use some good olive oil. Now I have my chicken thighs here. I'm just going to season these with a little bit of pepper, and then my salt here, just a little bit of salt here as well. And I'm going to just toss these around so that they're well seasoned. Now, what I'm going to do with these now is I'm simply going to take, and I'm only going to brown the skin side. So I'll take and I'm going to start these in a pan here, and we're going to just start to brown up the skin side of the chicken. So, and this is the great thing about these dishes, because a lot of them are Greek-inspired or Olympic-inspired, and they're very simple. They have a few simple ingredients. As a matter of fact, let me go over the other ingredients that are going to be going in with the chicken in the lemon egg sauce here, and I won't overcrowd the pan here. But the other ingredients, I'm using two leeks, about 4 stalks of celery, 3 cups of chicken stock, and then to make the sauce, we're using 2 eggs, the juice of 1 lemon, and then to garnish it, we're going to be using some dill and green onions. So it's all very nice. So what you end up doing is right here, you end up browning the chicken. So you get the chicken nice and brown on the skin side. And I can just show you and if you don't even want to do that, you don't have to take the time, but I'm just going to take that. Now, while these are browning up, I'm going to go ahead and add my celery. I'm going to add my onions to this, add my leeks to this, just get them all in there. And then the only thing I have to do now is I have to add my chicken stock or water to this to let it cook once those chickens brown up. Now, once they've browned up, I'm just going to bring this pan over here, because this is what they'll look like as they simmer away. And you're going to simmer these for about a half an hour. But you see how nice these look? Don't they look terrific? Now, to make the lemon egg sauce, this is where it gets a little complicated. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'll take right here and I'll remove my chickens. I'm just going to set these up in this beautiful bowl I have here. Let me just get these chickens all in here, and then we're going to make the lemon egg sauce. Now, this is where you have to be careful, because you really don't want to scramble the egg. So I'll arrange the chicken this way. Then, in a bowl right here, you can separate the egg whites from the yolks, but you really don't have to. So I'm just going to take my eggs right here. 1, 2, 3 eggs right in here. Then, whenever I beat eggs, I'm going to always put in a pinch of salt, just a pinch of salt there. Then we'll take our lemon right here. You need to roll the lemon. You need to make sure that you really break all the membranes right in the lemon here. So then I'll take this, I'll cut this down this way. Then I'm going to squeeze this. I just have the reason I'm doing this is I have the cutest little strainer over here. Is this adorable or what? So I'm just going to take my lemons and squeeze them this way. This way I won't get any seeds in there. Just kind of push this through. Isn't this the most adorable little strainer? Just get that one little seed that came out there. Squeeze the rest of this lemon here. Beautiful. Now, you can always add more lemon to the sauce, but it's a good idea to put it into the egg. So once you have that done, take a fork. Going to break the eggs. Get a little bit of air into them. Then, while I'm whisking, I'm going to take some of my hot liquid here, and I'm just going to temper this a little bit so that my eggs don't scramble. Yes, that's a delicious poaching liquid that we use with the chicken with the leeks and the celery. Then we're going to take this, stirring constantly, put this on, and shut it off. This is it. If I brought this up to a boil now, it's going to scramble. Then we take this sauce. This goes right on top of the chicken this way. And then to finish this, a little bit of dill there. And some nice finely chopped scallions. Out of this world. Delicious, easy, simple chicken in a lemon egg sauce or chicken avgolemono. We need to take a little break, but then when we come back, we are making keftedes on a skewer. Those are meatballs. It's Olympic-inspired dishes today on Let's Cook. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where we are making Olympic-inspired dishes. Now, the next item I'm making, it's called, it's actually spelled K-E-F-T-E-D-E-S, but it's pronounced keftedes. Okay, so that D is kind of a TH sound. And basically, it's a meatball. But it's a very flavorful meatball. So let me just go over the ingredients that I'm going to use in this. I'll be using a pound of ground beef, but you can also substitute some lamb in there. 1 onion, finely chopped, an egg, some olive oil to moisten it. Then we're going to flavor it with some mint leaves, salt and pepper, and oregano. So to make this, the first thing that I'm going to do is I have some oregano right here. And the oregano, and if you can't find oregano, fresh oregano in the store, you can also use marjoram because it has a similar flavor. So I'm just picking these off the leaves here. And we're just going to take and finely chop these. You know, now these Olympic-inspired dishes that we're making here, it's really, you know, for the Summer Olympics, there are certain sports that maybe I don't know if you get to see them on TV anymore. There's table tennis. I think that's very exciting. And I think that became a lot more popular in this country after Forrest Gump. But then there's also badminton. Now, the only problem with me is whenever I went to play badminton, it was windy outside. It was almost like playing, you know, a baseball. It was so hard with the wind. So I never made the Olympics team. I really wasn't a good sports kid, so to speak. I just wasn't. But I was fortunate enough that in 1992, during the Winter Olympics in France, I went over there and out to Albertville, and I was over there, and I was involved in some food service over there for the Winter Olympics, actually for families of the athletes. So that was a lot of fun, and made a lot of hockey games there. But this is Summer Olympics. There we are. So we're just going to go right over here. We're going to finely chop this mint as well. So we have our mint here, and again, you need the fresh mint. To this now, we'll add 1 egg. Then we have our meat right here and our onions. So I'll put in our finely chopped onions and our meat. And then we're going to flavor this again. Greek cuisine, Olympic-inspired cuisine, a little bit of olive oil in there. And we just mix this together till it's really somewhat tight. We're going to mix this a little tighter than we did the lamb balls for the lamb ball soup. So I mix this really nice and tight here. Okay, beautiful. Really want to mix this in, you know, use your hand almost like a mixer there. Really mix this really well. You want to break up the meat. You want to get it really well mixed with the egg. Make it as homogeneous as possible. Because what we're going to do with the meat here is once it's really well mixed like this, and you can see that even though it doesn't look like it looks like it's too loose, if I just mix this for about another half a minute here, it's going to get tight enough that it will stick on to the skewer. Now, if you wanted to, you could use any sort of filler in here. You could use rice. You could use breadcrumbs. You could use crackers. But see, now it holds its shape. Now it's good to go. So now, to make this, I have some bamboo or wooden skewers right here, bamboo. And what I did is I soaked them in a little bit of water. And what I'll do is I'll use my hand this way, and I'll just take a clump of the meat here and kind of force it together with my hand this way, come in with the skewer so it's right in the middle, and then just kind of roll it a little bit to make sure it's nice and tight. The reason we put the bamboo skewers in water is that way when we put these in the oven or under the broiler, they won't burn up. Same way if you're grilling. Now these you can also grill too. So let me just get one more of these made. And you can see the technique, it's almost like making, I don't know if I can say this, but sushi, where when they form the rice with the one hand, then we come in here. And again, just kind of roll it to make sure it's in the middle there. Then to finish these, what I'm going to do is before I put them under the broiler, after I clean up my hand here, take a little bit of olive oil. Just drizzle a little bit of olive oil on these. And then I'm going to pop these under the broiler. And we already have some done right here. So this is what they look like when they come out of there. They're so good. They're so delicious. And it's just a great treat. Now, to serve these, what we would do is, oh yeah, this will work here, right here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick these up right here. You want to make sure that they come loose, that they don't stick, and that's why we put a little olive oil on them. A couple of different ways you can finish these. One way you could finish these is you could just finish these with a little bit of, and I like to put the wooden skewer on there. You can finish these with just a little bit of herbs and some lemon juice. But another nice way to finish these is you make a little bit of the avgolemono sauce or the egg lemon sauce. So to make that, I have my pan heating up with my chicken stock in here. I have lemon juice in this bowl. I'm going to add 1 egg to this. Beautiful. And then we're just going to take and beat this egg, similar to what we did for the chicken. Now, what's really nice is I'm just going to add a little bit of parsley. Actually, yeah, I want parsley for this, not dill. So I'm just going to come over here. Oh, here, I have some parsley right here. We're just going to rough chop this parsley. Finish this with a little bit of parsley. Okay, so just take our parsley here. Very rough chop this. Doesn't have to be too fine. That'll work perfect. Get that large stem out of there. Here we go. Good. My liquid is boiling. Stir this around. Get some movement in your bowl going here. Add your lemon egg mixture. Add your parsley. Little bit of salt. Little bit of pepper. And now we can go ahead and spoon this right over top of the keftedes. Out of this world. The only other thing I have to do is I have to finish my lamb ball soup. So we have our lamb ball soup here. You can see it's finished with the rice. We would just add the tomatoes to this. Let this come back up to a simmer. Add a little bit more stock to this. Remove the bay leaves. And we're going to have a delicious, out of this world, Olympic-inspired, Greek motivated lamb ball soup. Thanks for watching Let's Cook. You have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.